What is up, my dudes? It is Alec Lindstrom, former Boston College offensive lineman. You're listening to Basketball Conference, the ACC football podcast. Go Eagles and go ACC.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to Basketball Conference, the ACC football podcast. My name's Joey Weaver. He's Mike McDaniel. Mike, week 8 is upon us. Season's going fast. How you doing? You ready to talk about some games?
Yeah, we're pretty much at the halfway point now with buys and everything else. I mean, everybody's played at least 6 games at this point. I'm sick of handing out losers. I'm handing out a lot of losers this year. I'm trying to quit.
Yeah, there's been a few of those on this show. We'll get to last week's locks here in a minute and our records on the season, all of which, if I'm not mistaken, and my math is usually right on this, under 500, every one of us. So we'll work on that.
Yeah, the heater's coming.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. That's the story. When you're digging yourself a ditch, the best way to get out of it is keep digging.
That's right.
Keep digging. Motto of this show. Mike, we are not live, but we are on youtube.com/@the-ACC football podcast. It is Wednesday evening that we are recording this. Unfortunately, this is a week that we are not able to go live this week, but you'll be seeing this in your feeds. I would imagine sometime on Thursday. Producer Scott's in the house. Speaking of Scott, how's it going?
I don't appreciate you just calling out Thursday before talking to your producer.
Well,
thanks.
We shoot from the hip around here, I guess. Been known to happen.
It'll get there at some point. Doing okay back from a weekend trip up to the lake house to relax and close it up for the winter. Had a lot of fun up there this weekend. Saw a lot of family unexpectedly. Didn't think it was going to be in town. Played some good golf. That was cool. So
happy belated birthday, by the way.
Thanks.
Yes. Happy belated birthday.
There you
Big
go.
3-1. I will say this year's was much better than last year's.
Yeah. If you know, you know.
Yeah.
Well, good to have you back, Scott. Always fun having you in the house here.
I do apologize for my terrible producer's picks of the week, but 2-0 on Sickos last week, baby, and 2-0.
Got on a heater with the Sickos. We'll presumably get to that later. Who knows if we have time or not? We'll find out. Mike, anything else before we get into a Rhoback look back at week 7?
Nothing.
Let's jump in. As a reminder to the people, use promo code GOACC20 at checkout for 20% off your first order at Rhoback.com. All sorts of wonderful polos, sweatshirts, hoodies, joggers, athleisure wear, all that stuff. It looks fantastic. It's high quality. Feels great. I love wearing mine to the office, to church, on the golf course, wherever you want to wear it. It fits in everywhere. Go check out the game day collections for most of the ACC schools. They're on there. And once again, use promo code GOACC20 at checkout for 20% off your first order at Rhoback.com. Scott, is that a Rhoback jacket?
Nope, this is LL Bean.
Oh, okay. Well,
but thank you for appreciating a good jacket.
Not a sponsor, could be.
No free ads. Yep.
I thought it could be Rhoback because it looked great. Is really what I was saying.
This is a lovely gift from Mike's mom.
How about that?
Don't know what that means, but
she gave me this for Christmas last year. Thanks.
Shout out Mama McDaniel. The in-laws. There you go. All right, Rhoback look back at week 8, Mike. Anything stick out week 7, excuse me. Anything stick out to you that we didn't really cover? We had a pretty thorough recap, but floor is yours if there's something you wanted to bring up here.
Not especially.
I'll bring one thing up real quick just to have something to talk about.
Sure.
Something that we haven't really hit on for most of this year, I don't think, but something maybe worth considering, especially this week, given their matchup. Kevin Jennings for SMU, not really part of the game plan as it relates to the run game this year in the way that he was at times last year. And I saw a couple people mentioning this, noticing this on Twitter earlier today, but last year, I want to make it clear, like, he wasn't, a Lamar Jackson, a Riley Leonard, like, let's give him 15, 20 carries a game kind of guy last year. But it was about half the games that they played that he was getting 10 to 12 carries. And especially against Louisville, I think he went over 100 yards in that game. Like, Kevin Jennings' legs were something that you really had to keep an eye on last year when you were playing against this SMU offense. And we talk about this year, it feels like something is missing a little bit. Mike, Kevin Jennings this year, sacks included, has 37 carries for 5 yards and 1 touchdown. So Kevin Jennings is not a factor in the run game for SMU, at least so far this year. He had 14 carries against Baylor. Other than that, he's never had more than 6 in a game all year so far. I wonder if we see something change there going up against a tricky Clemson defense this week.
Yeah, I think they're going to have to figure out different ways to run the ball, and that will probably include Kevin Jennings if they want to win the game. I didn't realize he was that uninvolved in the running game. That's
right.
That flew under the radar a little bit. He's thrown the ball really well this year. He's been good. I'm a little bit surprised that they've not been using him that much in the running game. From what I've seen out of SMU's games, that's flown under the radar for me, mostly because they've been playing pretty well offensively. My questions from SMU have been more on the defensive side of the ball.
Yeah. Almost 72% completions, over 8.5 yards per attempt, 15 touchdowns, six interceptions so far through the air. He was good throwing it last year. I think he's been even better so far this year. If you just look at it kind of on a per game basis. So yeah, we'll see how this continues to evolve. I know that he has been dealing with a little bit of a lower body, like maybe like an ankle kind of injury, I think, if memory's serving. But yeah, something to keep an eye on. You might see an evolution from SMU if they're trying to really make a push to finish towards the top end of this conference this year. We'll see.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Anything else week 7?
No, I'm really excited to talk about these games.
Well, we got to look at our locks from last week before we can do that.
No, we really don't.
Please. The people demand it of us, Mike. And let's just start here. We had a triple barrel lock last week. That was you, Mike. That was me. And that was also the producer's pick of the week. All of us had NC State, Notre Dame over 60.5.
This is Notre Dame's fault. This is Notre Dame's fault for the 2 4th down lack of conversions at the end of the first half. Just cooked us there.
Yeah, well, yeah, there was probably 17 points that Notre Dame left on the board with deep red zone shenanigans basically on offense in this game. So that definitely didn't help anything on our end. NC State, I really thought they were going to score more than 7 here. That wasn't great either. That didn't help.
Notre Dame's defense playing well.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they were really bad to start the year. They have been pretty good over the last month.
They're figuring it out a little bit.
Uh-huh.
So worth keeping an eye on. Mike, you had NC State, Notre Dame over 60.5, and you also had Clemson minus the 13.5 against Boston College. 1-1 on the week, 7-11 on the year.
Yeah.
Get a Slurpee.
Pretty easy to bet against Boston College at this point.
Yeah, that'll probably come back into play later in this episode, if I had to imagine. In addition to NC State, Notre Dame over 60.5, I also had the Hokies plus 14.5 because neither coach wants to be normal with point after attempt decisions. Spiritually, that was a 34-21 game that ended up 35-20 because of 2-point decisions, which just phenomenal. I also had Clemson minus the 13.5 against Boston College. 1-2 on the week. 7-9 on the year for your boy. Producer's pick of the week was NC State, Notre Dame over 60.5. 2-5 on the year for Mr. Scott.
It's been tough going with the producer's pick of the week. The last 3 weeks, it's 3 L's in a row. We started off cold 0-2, got hot 2-0. Now we're 0-3 again. Back here 2-5. Can't say I like it. especially when I'm betting actual dollars on these games.
Yeah, well, I don't
The
want to
only
talk
thing
about that.
the only thing I do like is that I didn't watch any of this because it was on the cock,
There you
so didn't spend any extra money trying to watch this game last week. So
I didn't either, frankly.
My wife is a Peacock subscriber, so that was helpful. That came in handy.
There you go.
No innuendo. No innuendo. I just mean the streaming app. We don't need to. I saw that look you gave. We don't need to.
it's not your fault they named it that.
Don't know what you're talking about.
I don't know either.
Can we move on to week 8?
We probably should. Yeah.
We definitely should. Week 8, we've got 8 games to preview. We've got 14 ACC teams in action this week. We've got NC State, Wake, and Virginia Tech all on bye weeks. Wake Forest now on their second bye week. So they are done missing weeks from here on out. We'll see them every week for the rest of the year. We got 6 conference games. We got a pair of out-of-conference games on Saturday. And we've got our first ACC weeknight action in a few weeks here since Florida State's loss in Charlottesville on September 26th. So good to have ACC action to watch on a weeknight. That's on Friday night. October the 17th, let's start there as a doubleheader, in fact, on Friday night. We'll start in South Beach, where the Louisville Cardinals are on the road, taking on the number 2 Miami Hurricanes. Miami, a 13.5-point favorite, totals 49.5. This is at 7 o'clock on ESPN Friday night. Louisville coming off a bye week. We got some reports this week from Jeff Brom that we might see multiple quarterbacks playing in this game, which is just not a real encouraging thing to be hearing.
Correct.
Miami also off of a bye week. They had one of these bye week sandwich situations. They had a bye week. They played Florida State, and they had another bye week. So they should be well rested. I'm not getting good vibes from Louisville in this matchup, Mike. And it's the quarterback thing, which is A, Miller Moss, and B, multiple quarterbacks, apparently, which I think Brom clarified a little bit today that this might be more of a package, like situational kind of thing for having a second quarterback in the game. But I'm also really not high on what Louisville's offensive line has been doing so far this year. And I think they might get eaten alive by Miami's defensive front in this game.
I agree. We're laying them with Miami, and we're just going to lock it up. Let's start hot.
Hey.
You better lock it up. You better lock it up. No, you lock it up. You lock it up. Lock it up. Lock it up.
Please.
Yeah.
Wow.
The offensive line thing with Louisville is troubling. I don't like the matchup at all for them up front. They've been hit or miss. They have good running backs, but they've been hit or miss running the football because of the offensive line. Miami's defense has been really good at stopping it. Miami's coming in here well rested, coming off a bye. I don't love what I've been seeing out of Louisville, and yeah, especially if we see multiple quarterbacks. I mean, we're at the point of the season too where it's like, if you're making a quarterback change or you're hinting at a quarterback change, like, why are you doing that? Is that a health thing for Miller Moss? Is it you didn't love what you saw from him against Virginia? Because I didn't either, so I get it. You know, what's the motivation here? I'm not sure. So yeah, I'm interested to see what happens here. Neither one of these teams has played in a while, so we'll see kind of where they're at. But Miami's been rolling through everybody, right? And sometimes a break isn't good for that sort of thing. So we'll see how they look there. Maybe Louisville needed this kind of reset, but yeah, both teams coming off a bye. But I like Miami here. The matchup up front, I think, is too good for them not to cover. Plus, they're at home. I just, like you said, not getting good vibes on the Louisville side.
Yeah. No, that's fair. That's fair. I'm on Miami here as well. I'm not going to lock them up. There's a little piece of me that wonders. I mean, this is a big number, Mike, at 13.5. Can Louisville find their way to backdoor in this game? Yeah, I would say so. They're a team that's going to play hard. They're going to sign up for 60, so to speak, as they say. And, you know, they could be playing hard deep into this game and, you know, find a way into the back door, as it were. Louisville also defensively really good this year. Has been really, really good. And one of, if not, I guess maybe I would say Florida's defense is probably better than Louisville's, but other than that, this might be the best defense that Miami has played so far. So between a team that's going to play a full 60 minutes, a team that has a really good defense and might be more than willing to turn this into a low-scoring game, I'm gonna lay them with Miami, but I don't feel that confident in it. The thing I feel more confident in is the under. Under 49.5. I do not see this getting all that high scoring. I don't see Louisville scoring a whole lot either way, whether they keep it close or not. I'm not going to lock this up right now, but we'll see how the show goes, and I might need to come back and lock this up later.
We are also going to find out if Louisville's defense has been really good or if they've just played bad teams.
I think they've been good.
This is the best offense they've seen, right? They did play well against Virginia for sure. Like they played well enough to win the game. Absolutely did.
I mean, they gave up 14 points to James Madison. Like that's a decidedly solid, plucky offense. At least that night it was, and their defense just got stop after stop. It felt like.
Yeah, that's a game I thought Louisville was going to lose too without that first half win. I mean, they played much. You'll remember that was a weeknight game too. They played much better in the second half. Like the defense kind of stood tall. It was a little bit of a rocky start for the offense and the defense, and then both units kind of got it together in the second half there and pulled away from it. It is a good James Madison team for sure. They also have like a road win against Pitt, but that was like the Eli Holstein version of that offense. So yeah, I'm interested to see. I do think Louisville's defense is good, but I think this is going to be a telltale sign of just how good they actually are.
Yeah. Give me Miami here. I'll say 27-10. I think that seems completely reasonable to me from a scoring standpoint, but again, I might come back on the under here. Are you on the under here as well, Mike?
I'm definitely on the under because I'm not sure how much Louisville's going to score here.
Yeah.
It's less about Louisville's defense. Like I think they can hold Miami relatively in check. I just don't know how much success Louisville's going to have offensively.
Miami so far this year also has not really seemed all that interested in naming their score, we'll say. Like they will call off the dogs at 28 to 31 points and just coast into the finish line. Like they're totally okay doing that. So I think that kind of plays in here as well is, you don't want to be asking Miami to have to go score a whole ton of points. So
right.
Miami the under for the both of us. Mike has Miami minus the 13.5 locked up. Anything else before we move on here?
Nope. Let's do it. Keep going.
Can I jump in real quick?
You can.
You may.
Just quick note, the lines moved a lot here, or at least the totals moved a lot since it opened. It opened at 54.5, got down to 49.5. Right now it's actually at 50.5. So I know, Joe, you updated the banners earlier today. So 50.5, 49.5. It's been floating down since it opened at 54.5.
There you go. So always shop your prices if you're able to, because those things can kind of come in handy, especially when you have the Hokies plus 14.5 and they lose by 15. Like if you had 15.5 somewhere, that'd be valuable.
Oh yeah.
10:30 on ESPN. The North Carolina Tar Heels on the road in Berkeley, taking on the Cal Golden Bears. Cal, a 10.5 point home favorite here, totals 47.5. This is a lot of points to lay with Cal, but it's not very many points to get with North Carolina going across the country and what they've been either. So I really like the Bears in this spot, Mike.
I will happily lay them as well. Huge number. It's less to do with my faith in Cal and more to do with my lack of faith in North Carolina, I would say.
Yeah.
So there's not a whole lot to say here, right? I think this Carolina team is kind of a disaster, especially on offense. What's the what I might be interested in though? The team total.
We need a sound effect for Joey team total math time on the podcast. All right, let's see. 48
music, maybe?
24, what is this? Like 29 to 19-ish? Yeah, that would work. Right? Yeah. That'd be 48 points. So 29-19 ish. So Cal would be 29, North Carolina 19, thereabouts.
Yeah, on FanDuel, I have the team total for North Carolina at 17.5, but FanDuel also, for what it's worth, has Cal laying only 9.5 instead of 10.5. So, Joey, you being off by a point there is because of the book.
Directionally accurate.
Yep. Directionally accurate.
So which team total are you interested in?
The under for Carolina.
I agree.
Under 17.5 against a good Cal defense.
So Justin Wilcox can cook up a couple things to. I mean, I guess some of it depends on are we still going with Max Johnson here for North Carolina, or is Gio Lopez making a return?
Does it really matter?
I don't think so. I don't think it does, because so I thought that they would be more successful with Max Johnson because of the offense they were running, but didn't seem like that was quite the case last time out. Now, a lot of that might have had to do with the fact they were playing Clemson.
It was Clemson, yeah.
So I guess we'll see. We'll get some more use cases on Max Johnson in this North Carolina offense, I guess, if he's coming back out this week. I don't know. They're coming off a bye, and I don't know. Gio Lopez wasn't healthy for the Clemson game, so they didn't throw him out there. So I'm interested to see. If it is Max Johnson and he plays well, I think you got to keep rolling with him, because Carolina's schedule is not that difficult. Like, you're not playing Clemson again.
Yeah.
From a defensive standpoint. Like, Cal's defense is good, but it's not Clemson.
Right. I like Cal here a lot. Not again, this is a candidate to be locked up later. I don't feel super in on it just yet, but I like Cal. Total 47.5. I kind of like the over. Our guy JKS might get Cal most of the way there himself, honestly. Like, they could score 38 points in this game easy.
You're brave for betting an over in a North Carolina game with how that offense has looked.
I don't feel that brave with how that defense has looked. Like,
that's fair. That's a fair point.
So,
that's a fair point.
JKS does seem to run pretty hot and cold. I mean, he's had a couple games where he's looked like a wizard. They got shut out by San Diego State. Like, things can turn on a dime there. So we'll keep an eye on that.
Yeah, I was going to say, with his propensity to throw it to the wrong team, is this a get-right game for Steve Belichick's defense?
I mean, it could be. You on the under then?
I'm on the under. Yeah,
okay.
I'm on the under for sure.
Cal for both of us, over for me, under for Mike. No locks yet on this game.
I'm adding something because you guys could probably tell.
Uh-oh.
So, don't mind me.
It happens. It
does.
Scott, anything else here before we move on?
Nothing. Cool, fun, back-to-back doubleheader on a Friday night to get your weekend going. So
hell yeah. Best way to get a weekend going.
Strap on into riveting North Carolina versus Cal. ACC After Dark on a Friday.
Go ACC to that. Strap on in. Let's go. Let's go to Saturday.
Strap on, baby.
That's right. Everybody loves that. What? Saturday, October the 18th. We got 4 conference games. We've got a couple of out-of-conference games. Let's do the conference games first. We'll do those in chronological order. We'll start at noon. ESPN, right off the back of College Game Day, which is really quickly becoming like an ACC slot on TV. The SEC apparently gets ABC just all day long at this point. So the ACC might as well get ESPN at noon. The number 12 Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets on the road in Durham, taking on the Duke Blue Devils. Duke, a 1.5-point favorite here as the unranked team. Total 61.5. I told you, like a week and a half ago, this game was set for noon. Georgia Tech is ranked. They're going on the road. Duke coming off a bye week. This is the best offense and the best quarterback, for my money, that Georgia Tech has faced so far this year. I tweeted this out, got a lot of run on Twitter. I can see this loss coming from a mile away, boys. Mm-hmm. Like, Georgia Tech 6-0. Again, a top 15 program. I mean, everything's going great. We're talking college football playoff projections, all this stuff. We know what's going to happen next, right?
I was catching a lot of flack this week on social media for some comments I made on my tech podcast about Georgia Tech, which mirrored the comments I made on this podcast the night before when I said I was not all that impressed with Georgia Tech's defense, which I thought was a perfectly fair comment to make.
I'm not that impressed with them either.
With how they've looked the last 2 times out against Wake Forest and Virginia Tech, 2 offenses that are pretty mid. Duke, lay 'em. I'm on Duke. I think Duke wins. There is a chance that Duke might be better. Duke's playing well, man. They've really kind of steadied the ship since those 2 early non-conference losses. We talked about them at the time. It was less about what Illinois and Tulane were doing to Duke and more about what Duke was doing to themselves. Not that I think they should have certainly won both of those games, but I think they had an opportunity to if they took care of business. And they didn't. Turnovers, penalties. Duke's flying under the radar a little bit, right? So yeah, give me the Blue Devils here.
It's funny looking at this week, and I mentioned to a couple of the guys from the Rumble seat that the more I think about it, if you look at this Duke team and their resume so far, it's really a Rorschach test in my mind. Like, you could say that, yeah, like they got sloppy, lost a couple of games that they shouldn't have, but they've gotten really hot in the last couple of games that they've played. They're playing really well. They're coming off a bye. All that looks good. On the other hand, you could also say that the last 3 games that they've won were against a freshman quarterback and a first-time starting quarterback and another, relatively unproven quarterback in NC State with CJ Bailey, versus they lost to Luke Altmaier's Illinois and Jake Retzloff's Tulane. So, it's kind of, I think it's a little bit of what you decide what you want to see here. And realistically, like, how good are those NC State, Syracuse, and Cal teams, like, versus what is Georgia Tech and how good are they? And obviously Georgia Tech, imperfect, has their issues, especially on defense. And so, I think it's a little bit of whatever you want to see, you can see here. But for my money, this one, maybe even more so than last week, call this a little bit of emotional hedging if you want. But again, this is the best offense that Georgia Tech's seen. This is the best quarterback that Georgia Tech has seen all year. And I don't trust that defense to get the stops that it needs to be able to win this game on the road, especially in this noon spot. So give me the Blue Devils here to cover the 1.5. They'll win this game outright and upset Georgia Tech. Producer Scott, can you do me a favor here and lock that up for me?
You better lock it up. You better lock it up. No, you lock it up. You lock it up. Lock it up. Lock it up.
Please.
Back-to-back week locked emotional hedge. I mean, whatever it's got to be, but
I like it.
I also wanted to mention that this is a game that there are listeners to the show that will remember from a couple of years ago, Stanford Steve and the Bear doing a podcast. Chris Felica, before he went over from College Game Day over to Big Nude, and when they were doing the podcast, and when Felica was writing a column at ESPN, he always had some just incredible like gambling stats on things like this, where it would be like, in October or later, top 15 teams as an underdog to an unranked team are 6-18-4 against the spread or something like that. Like, this feels like this was like a Felica special for this type of matchup and this type of number. Like, when Vegas seems like they might know something, they usually do. So lay them with Duke.
I would be pretty impressed if Georgia Tech won this game.
Yeah. And if they do, I mean, you want to talk about the whole thing opening up. Like, from here, it's Syracuse at NC State at Boston College. all of which are looking way more doable than they were in August. Not that they were looking undoable in August, but like, I don't know that any of those teams is on an arrow pointing up kind of situation right now.
No.
And then you got Pitt and Georgia to close out the year. Like 11-1 on the table if you win this game. I just don't think they will. Give me the over too, by the way. I think both
they
teams
will.
Yeah, I think both teams get in the 30s here. I think this will be a relatively high-scoring game, so give me the over.
Yeah, I like the over too. I like the over, honestly, maybe even more than I like Duke's spread.
Yeah.
I think both these teams score here.
Yeah, either way. Yeah, give me Duke like 35-31 in this game. We'll see. Anything else on this game?
Nope.
I will be betting the over.
I'm sure I sufficiently pissed off a lot of Georgia Tech fans with the comment I made about how Duke might be better, but
It's
you.
funny to me the things that upset people, because I mean I got a little bit of hate from Georgia Tech fans, but like my tweet a couple weeks ago about I've seen this loss coming from a mile away, it was like over 200 likes or whatever it was. Like people know, we know it's okay. So, but what makes me laugh is like the number of people I still get in my mentions griping about how Georgia Tech shouldn't be undefeated because they're paying the refs because Wake Forest didn't win that game. It's like, okay, that was weeks ago. Let it go. I get it.
Yeah. I see the comments on the YouTube. I see the comments on social media, the replies. Mm-hmm. I'm a lot better about just not responding to them anymore.
Yeah.
But I do see them still.
Just ignore it. By the way, Wake, you got the ball after that. You had a chance to win that game anyways, and you didn't. Let it go. Arrows pointing up. You're doing well. Let it go. It's fine. Mike, this preview and all of them brought to you by section103.com. Use promo code GOACC at checkout for 10% off your first order. They've got shirts with the official Tech Gold, all the officially licensed word marks. They've got polos, T-shirts, hats, sweatshirts, hoodies, stickers. Thanks for men, women, children, babies, something for the whole family. Weather's starting to turn a little bit. We're getting deep into October, going towards November. It's getting cooler. You want a hoodie like this, keep you warm, look fantastic, feels super great. It's super comfortable. Go find it all, section103.com. They got the polos back in stock. There were a couple of them that sold like hotcakes when they were first released. Steven's got some more of those, so go check those out. They've got things from Georgia Southern, Kennesaw State, LSU. In case you got people in your life that need some apparel from those as well. So go check them all out. Once again, use promo code GOACC at checkout for 10% off your first order, section103.com. Last thing, next week, homecoming against Syracuse. Fran Brown and the boys coming to town. You need a shirt, Mini 500. Section 103's got you. Go find it there. Last times, go ACC at checkout for 10% off your first order. Shout out to Steven and the gang. Appreciate them.
Love them.
I forgot if this got in on the recap since I wasn't there, and I texted it in last week. Kennesaw State, Section 103, Team of the Week.
Section 103 Magic at Kennesaw State. Go do that.
Hoot, hoot.
Hooty hoot. 2:30 on the ACC network. The SMU Mustangs on the road in Death Valley taking on the Clemson, the not ranked Clemson Tigers. Clemson's a 9.5 point favorite at home. Total's 55.5. Okay. Clemson looked great against Boston College. Looked great before that against North Carolina. How back are we with Clemson here, Mike? Are we all the way back? Are we a little bit back? Fake back?
This is fake back all the way, right? They've looked better. I mean, obviously they've looked better than they did early in the year. Like they've looked better the last 2 weeks offensively than they looked against Troy, for example.
Yes.
So it's better than that iteration of the Clemson offense, but I feel like we're also laying 9.5 because the public is looking at this and saying, "Oh, look, they've scored a million." Like casual fans are like, "Oh, they've scored 1 million points last 2 weeks. Like they're certainly playing better now." It's like, yeah, they are, but Those are two really, really bad defenses. Carolina's is horrible. Boston College, they're quitting. See, Carolina doesn't really look like they're quitting to me. They just look like they're really bad.
They're just not good. Yeah.
BC, like they're trying hard and they're just awful. BC's quitting. So like, how much stock do I put into that game last week? Like middle of second quarter, the game was over because Clemson scored a couple times and then BC just rolled over. So how much stock am I putting into that? Also, like SMU's defense they've had some issues, right? We've talked about that. Like they're not what they were last year on that side of the ball, and that's been well documented. But are we absolutely sure Clemson's just going to like do what they've been doing the last 2 weeks against SMU's defense? This is by far the best defense they played the last 3 weeks.
It is.
So like, are we absolutely sure? I don't know. I will tell you this though. I would feel more comfortable if Clemson was laying like 10 or 11, taking SMU.
Yeah.
Like 9.5 is a weird one.
Yeah.
And I say all that to say, I do think Clemson wins this game here at home. I do think they win. I think I'm going to lean SMU here, not with a lot of confidence, just because I think this might be an overreaction to what Clemson's done the last couple of weeks. But I do think they are playing better football. We mentioned at the top, like Kevin Jennings not running the ball as much. Maybe he needs to run the ball a little bit more here. Clemson's defense has been playing better as well, not only because they've played a couple of putrid offenses in a row as well, but because they haven't been on the field as much too, which that was a problem early on this season. It was Clemson's offense couldn't sustain drives and Clemson's defense was getting tired in the second half. So instead of being like elite, like we thought they were going to be, they're actually just like pretty good. So that's something to watch here too. So, I mean, if Clemson's able to sustain drives and keep their defense rested and we get the version of the Clemson defense we've seen the last couple of weeks, I could see how Clemson could cover here. But I'm going to lean SMU because I think they're a little bit more competent, obviously, than the last two teams Clemson has seen. I think we might be overreacting slightly to what we've seen out of the Tigers offensively the last couple of weeks. But I do think Clemson wins this game.
Yeah. I'm with you. Give me the points. I could see this being like a touchdown kind of game. Maybe SMU and Rhett Lashley cook up something and even find a way to win it. I wouldn't be stunned if they did. If anything, I like the under here. Total's 55.5. SMU games have not gotten into the 50s many times this year. Again, their offense is not really humming at the level that we saw it in the back half of last year. It's fine. They'll score some points. They'll scheme some guys open, that kind of thing. But it's not like the most well-oiled machine that we've seen with Rhett Lashley at the controls. So between that, Clemson's defense, Clemson's offense has been kind of gimpy for a lot of this year. I just don't see this getting very high scoring. I mean, I could see this being like 31-21, and that still comes in under the total. So, give me the under. That's the thing I probably feel the best about here. This is a big number for Clemson to have to cover with the issues that they've had on offense. So I don't want to lock anything up here, but I lean SMU to cover. I lean towards the under.
Yeah.
Should be a fun game to watch, though.
Same.
Really good good litmus test, I think, for both of these programs.
Scott, got anything? Any picks?
Nope.
I saw you leaning. I thought you might be going for a certain button, but maybe we're waiting until later.
Oh, you wait.
All right. We wait. SMU and the under for the both of us, right, Mike? You said under as well?
Yeah. I'm on the under here too. Yep.
All right. SMU and the under, but I think we kind of agree that Clemson wins a little bit of a rock fight situation. We will see. 7:30 on the ACC network. The Pitt Panthers on the road in the Carrier Dome, taking on the Syracuse Orange. Real ones still call it the Carrier Dome, right? That's
Yep.
I mean, I do. Yeah.
Yeah. Same.
JMA, right? Carrier's easy to remember.
Carrier Dome. Yeah. The non-air conditioned dome sponsored by an air conditioning company, which makes just all the sense in the world. Anyways, Panthers a 10.5 point favorite on the road here, taking on the Syracuse Orange. Totals 54.5. man, this is a lot of points on the road, and yet Pitt's been rolling. Syracuse is anything but rolling right now with Ricky Collins just trying to figure it out. This is a big stay away for me from an actual betting and wagering standpoint, but
Yeah.
I'll make picks for the podcast, I suppose.
I shouldn't do this, but I'm gonna lay him with Pitt.
Dear.
I shouldn't do this. No, I'm not locking anything up. I'm just gonna lay him with Pitt. Joey, I am going to say this though.
Mhm.
This has the feel of one of those games. 7:30 at Syracuse, flying under the radar. Syracuse has been awful.
Mm-hmm.
This feels like Pitt in a blowout or Syracuse outright, doesn't it? Like, would it absolutely shock you? This is one of those games in the ACC. We've been doing this podcast a while now. This is one of those games in the ACC we've seen a million times. Sneaks up on you. Pitt's got all the momentum. Syracuse has kind of looked like ass without Steve Angeli. Like, would it shock you if Syracuse just like went out and won this game? That's just like weird ACC stuff, you know?
Second game on the road in a row for Pitt. Letdown spot after pulling off the upset in Tallahassee last week. Feeling good about themselves, looking at this Syracuse team that lost Steve Angeli and now all of a sudden has just been spinning its wheels at best. Yeah. Why would Pitt come out and have any sort of issue with focus, motivation, any of those things? Like, why would they? Moneyline, all line situation is what they would call this. It's either Syracuse outright. What would I get there? Like plus 350 or something, probably on the orange at 10 points on the spread, or Pitt minus 16.5 or something. You know, like tease it way up.
Like, let's get value one way or the other.
Yeah,
good guess, Joey. It's 3-4. 3-4.
Hey, there you go. Look at me. I'm gonna take the orange. I'm gonna take the orange to keep this close. I don't really know why or how, but again, maybe a bit of a snoozer from Pitt of sorts. Of again, second straight road game, letdown spot, loss of focus kind of situation. Syracuse getting 10.5 at home. Give me the points with the orange. I think they keep it a little bit close here. Total's 54.5. I think it's got. If I'm picking Syracuse, I got to take the under. I don't see a way that Syracuse is going to keep this close, if not potentially win it in like a track meet kind of situation. So Syracuse in the under for me.
I'm going to say over because I picked Pittsburgh.
Yeah. Correlated parlay situation. All right. Well, we'll see how that goes. Scott, anything? I think you're on mute here, Scott.
Oh, I am. Just wait. Not yet.
All right. Fair enough. All right. Syracuse in the under for me. Pitt and the over for Mike. Anything else before we move on here, Mike?
Good to move.
Last conference game, 10:30 on ESPN. As Florida State now is on the road in Palo Alto taking on the Stanford Cardinal. Florida State is an 18.5-point road favorite. Totals 53.5. A Florida State program that is currently reeling and hasn't won an ACC game in over a calendar year, and now is almost a 3-touchdown favorite on the road against a Stanford team that I think all of us kind of left for dead a while ago, but might have just like the slightest little bit of a pulse there. Like 18.5. I understand what both of these teams are, Mike, but like, do you trust Florida State to be motivated and focused and ready to really run it up on Stanford here, given all that has gone down over the last few weeks on their side of the fence?
I think the message for Florida State, right, if you're Norvell, is, guys, we can just win out. and just go 9-3 and then let the chips fall where they may. So
Mhm.
I do think they're going to come out and play hard here. I do. I think this is a get right game for Florida State. Feels weird saying that going across the country and then having to trust them at, a 10:30 kick, but we're just gonna lay them and do it.
Give me the points in Stanford. This is an outright principle situation. Like, Florida State has not done well at all against the spread this year. I think Alabama was probably their main situation. They also covered against Kent State, but since then they have been pretty disappointing in most of the games that they've played. And now to go all the way across the country, expect them to focus in front of literally dozens of people
Dozens.
against a Stanford team that nobody's buying into at all. I cannot in good faith lay 18.5 with the Noles in this spot. So give me the points with Stanford. I do think Florida State gets off the schneid and wins, but wouldn't it be hilarious if they didn't?
Would not be hilarious for Norvell, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I was about to say, do you think they leave him on the tarmac if they lose?
I was going to say, yeah, he can go coach UCLA next year.
Absolute emergency, break glass in case of emergency button of we got to get rid of him.
Yeah, we'd probably be in a situation where UCLA would say, no thanks. We'll just go with Tim Skipper instead.
Mm-hmm.
Norvell. Like, what are we doing? Yeah, it would be funny.
It would be. I guess if I'm on Stanford, give me the under here as well. I'll say like 31-14 or something.
I'm on the under too.
Yeah,
because Florida State might be going for style point. I don't know. Well, we'll just say under. How many points do you think Stanford would be favored by against Kent State on a neutral field?
Stanford against Kent State on a neutral field?
6.5.
9.5?
Yeah. Point is, it would be inside 10 points. I agree with both of those statements. It would be inside 10 points.
Yeah.
Which Florida State just laid waste to Kent State. You know what I mean?
They did.
So let's see if they can do the same.
Oh, let's hold on. Now that you're asking, let's check SP Plus.
I was going to say, Connolly released the full.
I do like the under as well.
Yeah. I think that's what makes the most sense to me. We're talking about Stanford. Stanford is 118th. That's overall. They're behind a handful of FCS programs right now.
They've still been bad.
Kent State, meanwhile, behind some Division II teams. 28.2 to 39.9. So that's closing in on 12 points. So yeah, it was, 11.5 or so is what SP Plus would say.
Yeah.
Stanford be favored over Oklahoma State right now, which is things that are wild to think about in 2025. But hey, here we are. Stanford in the under for me, FSU in the under for Mike. We should probably bring up the fact too. Stanford officially our home field apparel home dogs of the week. Feels like they got to be, right?
Got to be.
Use promo code GOACC24 at checkout at homefieldapparel.com for 15% off your first order. Kind of funny doing that for Stanford because
they're not available.
The only ones.
I wonder
They're
why
too
that
good
is.
for home field. Not us, though. We're not too good for home field.
Hell no. All right. A couple out of conference games at noon on the ACC network. The Boston College Eagles at home taking on the UConn Huskies. Boston College, a 1.5 point home favorite here. Total is 58.5. UConn outright.
Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and lock that up. By the way.
Whoa.
Yeah, I'm locking up UConn.
Hey.
You better lock it up. No, you lock it up. You lock
Forgot
it
about that.
Lock it up. Lock it up.
Please.
Thank you, Scott. Forgot about that.
Just
That was a way
timing.
way worse UConn. Yeah, well, yeah, way worse UConn team than this one. By the way. Yeah, I mean, I'm locking up UConn. BC's quit. They've totally quit. They're bad. They've quit. O'Brien could sneaky get fired. He's trending up that list. There is a world where Boston College maybe doesn't win a game the rest of the season. This is one of their actually pretty good chances to do so.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm on UConn money line.
Yeah.
Let's
I will bet this
go.
game.
Let's go.
Hey, here we go.
UConn money line producers pick of the week.
Hell yeah.
We need to get like a cover 3 lock unity sound when the three, because this is the second time in as many weeks we've all been on the same thing.
In fairness, I'm not locking this up.
Okay. Well,
I'm a
that's
coward.
No fun. That's no fun. You haven't locked up anything yet, have you? Oh, you locked up Duke. Okay.
Yeah. I locked up my own team to get covered against. The point that you made, Mike, about this might be the best shot that Boston College has to win a game the rest of the season is probably the biggest reason that I can't lock this up. Like, as much as Boston College does look like they're quitting, if they're going to give us a good effort at some point from here on out, this is probably, number 1 or number 2 spot on the board for them to do so.
Yeah.
And if they do so, this is basically a coin flip, as Vegas is telling you right now with the spread. So there is a shot in my mind that Boston College wins this game, and there's a reason that they're favored. But if I'm just guessing on what we've been seeing and kind of where it feels like the trajectory is going here for the Eagles, I think UConn wins this game on the field. Total's 58.5. It's kind of a lot of points, but I guess we say over. Get a little pointsy, shootouty. I don't know.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
I'll be different and say under, so I'm different than you.
There you go. Under. All right. UConn outright for all of us. Mike's got it locked up. It's the producer's pick of the week as well. I'm on the over. You're on the under. Don't really feel strongly about that total whatsoever. So anything else there before we move on?
Good to move on.
Go Huskies.
Last one.
Go Huskies. Woof,
Everyone's favorite TV slot, 6:30 on the CW. The number 18 Virginia Cavaliers hosting the Washington State Cougars. Virginia's a 17.5 point home favorite here. Total's 56.5. Virginia's been rolling. They're at home. I realize that they're on the CW, but I kind of like the Hoos to cover here. Like, Washington State has not really been all that good. Virginia off a bye, if memory serves. They should be ready to go in this game. So in my mind, lay them with the Hoos here. I think they win this game going away at home.
Gonna lay them as well. Washington State hasn't really. Who's the best team they've played?
They played Ole Miss last week, lost by 3 points.
That's right. They did play well last week. This is a letdown spot coming back east.
Going back across the country.
Yep. Coming back east. Played great against Ole Miss.
Mm-hmm.
And this has letdown written all over it. Give me UVA.
Beat that San Diego State team that blanked Cal, which do with all of that as you will.
Yeah.
But, I think this is a good spot for
thing too, by the way.
What's that?
Cal San Diego State was very game variance, weird stuff going on.
Yep. Laying with Virginia, 6.5. I don't really want to take an under in a Virginia game right now. So
no,
over that total as well.
I'll join you.
Yep. All right. Virginia and the over for the both of us. That's all of our games for this weekend. Can we recap some locks real quick?
Let's do that.
All right. Mike has Miami minus the 13.5 Friday night against Louisville. I have Duke minus the 1.5 Saturday against Georgia Tech. Mike has Connecticut UConn outright. We'll just give you UConn plus 1.5 against Boston College, as does the producer's pick of the week. Scott has UConn plus the 1.5. I need at least one more here. I might go for 2. Why not? Give me the under 49.5 Miami and Louisville on Friday night.
You better lock it up. You better lock it up. No, you lock it up. You lock it up. Lock it up. Lock it up.
Please.
And what the hell? Give me the over 47.5 with Cal and North Carolina right after that. We got a Friday night double barrel lock, baby.
You better lock it up. You better lock it up. No, you lock it up. You lock it up. Lock it up. Lock it up.
Please.
It's not really double barrel. It's like kind of back to back, but whatever. That's fine. All right. Under 49.5 in Louisville and Miami for me, and over 47.5 in North Carolina and Cal on Friday night. Those are my locks.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Fun show. A lot of games to get to. You want to work on getting out of here? Anything else we need to do before we get out? Oh, no. Okay.
I don't care. I'm Sickos.
Sickos picks of the week, week 8. Buddy, it was a week last week, Mike, right? How'd it go for you?
It went almost as well as my other bets that I placed.
Mike, you had Temple team total under 20 and a half. That was gone with 20 minutes to spare. You also had Louisiana Monroe minus 2.5 at Coastal Carolina. 0-2 on the week, 3-7 on the year. I also joined you on Louisiana Monroe minus 2.5 at Coastal Carolina. And then I had New Mexico plus 16.5 at Boise State, which I went to sleep late Saturday night. Last thing I saw before I did was, they're down by 24 with 5 minutes left. And it wasn't until you sent me the Bad Beats segment from SportsCenter with Scott Van Pelt Monday night that I realized that New Mexico came back, scored a touchdown, and went for 2 and got it with like a minute and a half left in that game to cover the number. So, hey, shout out to the Lobos. That's Bad Beats, Scott Van Pelt. 4-2 on the year for you, boy. And then producer Scott.
Oh, yeah.
Heater.
Oh, yeah.
Iowa, Wisconsin, over 35.5.
Iowa Hawkeyes, baby, all by themselves.
I was gonna
That's
say, hit 'em with
right.
the,
Wisconsin is bad.
They're
with
awful.
that Thanos, fine, I'll do it myself. meme.
Fine, I'll do it myself. Yes.
And they, buddy, did they. And then, hooty hoo, Kennesaw State plus 5.5 against Louisiana Tech outright.
Section 103, baby.
That was not a sweat at all. It was awesome.
2-0 on the week for producer Scott in Sickos picks of the week. Mike, you got the honors on the tee box. Lead us off here.
I don't know how I have the honors on the tee box. Feels like I haven't gotten a pick right in a dog's age.
It's because I need time to figure out what my pick is. Keep going.
All right. I got 2 for you this week. Charlotte's taking on Temple.
You know what that means.
An American Athletic Conference action. Guys, neither one of these teams is very good. Charlotte is especially bad. When in doubt, go back to the Charlotte. Well, I did hit on a Charlotte bet a couple weeks back. You guys will remember on a Friday night.
Yeah,
on
the fourth quarter spread.
Fourth quarter spread against South Florida. That came home, but it was very, very interesting way to get there. Guys, I'm going Charlotte. They're catching 11.5. I don't want any part of that. I would like some of their team total though. Charlotte team total under 17.5.
Hey,
I'm all over that. So that's my first one. And then I wish we had the drum and fife sound because you guys mentioned this before the show and I didn't want to spoil anything. But guys, Lafayette of the FCS, of the Patriot League, drum and fife reference, shout out to Solid Verbal, of course. Lafayette's 5-2. They're 3-0 in Patriot League play. They've been pretty good this year, right? They're not bad for an FCS team. Oregon State is probably bad for an FCS team. Like if they played down a level this year, they just fired their head coach. Trent Bray's gone. So you're on an interim. You're playing against an FCS school. The team's got absolutely nothing to play for. And you're laying 22.5 at home against a Patriot League school. That's actually pretty good.
Yeah.
So give me Lafayette plus the 22.5.
Gross.
At Oregon State. And I don't know if it'll hit, but I think there's some rationale behind it, just like there was with my Charlotte pick a couple weeks ago. So there was some thought put into that one. Charlotte's just bad, and that's why I'm going team total under against Temple, who's just slightly better. But yeah.
Can you do the people a favor here real quick, Mike? If they were looking to watch this Lafayette Oregon State game, where would they go and when?
I'd imagine that this is an ESPN Plus game.
This is 10 p.m. on the CW.
Oh, that's correct. Yeah, we talked about this already.
Mike is on a CW underdog.
I'm on a CW underdog this week.
Shout out Lee.
Shout out Lee Nobody. That's right.
Man,
go ahead and change our banner, by the way, because we still have the Washington State, Virginia one up. So there we go.
Yeah, well, that it happens. Mike is going to be watching 10 p.m. CW action with a Pat League school on the road in Corvallis taking on a winless Oregon State.
In a remade Pac-12. Hell yeah.
This is what Sickos Peaks of the Week are all about. Scott, what do you got?
All right, gentlemen, after that awesome week last week, which the only picks that I got right were those. So that's awesome. We did a little bit of digging this week. I have 2 picks for you. We're going to travel on over to the beautiful metropolis of Piscataway, New Jersey.
Oh, yeah.
And we're going to visit the Rutgers Scarlet Knights as they host top 10 Oregon. So Oregon coming off loss last week to Indiana. Tough, hard-fought game. Have to come literally all the way across the country to play I believe it's a 3:30 body clock game for them. Doesn't really matter about the time. What does matter is that Rutgers is getting 5.5 in the first quarter. And I think Oregon's just going to come out a tad bit slow. I think Rutgers can get that first quarter spread 5.5, okay?
Let's go.
I do think Oregon covers the spread to finish the game, which is 17.5 right now. But Rutgers will just catch Oregon a beat too slow, coming off that tough loss last week and travel across the country. So we got Rutgers, Scarlet Knights, plus 5.5, first quarter spread.
First quarter.
Oh,
First quarter.
They're getting almost a touchdown in the first quarter?
Yep.
Damn. Okay. All right. Go off
7-3. That feels like 7-3.
Yeah. That's all we need to come home, baby. That's all we need. So first quarter spread plus 5.5. All right. And then we're going back to our good old friends up there in Amherst, the Minutemen of Massachusetts. They're terrible.
Mm-hmm.
They got whooped by Kent State, and they're terrible.
Has UMass fired their coach yet, by the way?
I don't know if it matters, brother.
Who is their coach at this point? They still have Don Brown?
No.
Anywho.
It's Kevin.
UMass.
Joe Harrisimiak?
Yeah, that's right.
Is that a real name?
I think Harasmiak.
Okay, so the pick for the week.
Go ahead,
UMass is hosting the Buffalo Bulls. All right.
Mm-hmm.
UMass, our lovely Minutemen, like I mentioned at the top, have not scored more than 10 points versus FCS competition.
Yikes.
Which includes a loss to FCS competition earlier this year in the Bryant Bulldogs. So I'm going team total under 10.5 for UMass. They have not beat
some back school.
They have not gone over 10 against any FBS opponents. And they've only met 10 once, which was the opener against Temple, which they lost by 32 points. And I was getting like plus 185 on that team total under 10.5. So we're
got
going
some value.
Plus
Yeah.
185.
Yeah, it was because the
God,
original.
nice mind.
Yeah, the line was set at like 17.5, and I was like, what? They can't score. So Massachusetts team total under 10.5 against Buffalo Bulls.
There you go.
Joey.
All right. I've got two of them here. Let me start by saying this. I was considering Friday night the San Jose State Spartans on the road in Logan, Utah, catching 3.5 against Utah State. I thought about that. So just not a pick, but if you're looking for some Friday night action and you don't want any of the things that we locked up already on this podcast, that's another option. There's only 4 games and we've got something on 3 of them. That's what you come to this podcast for. Let's start at noon at Yulman Stadium, which is not in the French Quarter, but is, it's in like the Garden District or something like that in New Orleans. The Army Black Knights on the road taking on the Tulane Green Wave.
Oh boy.
This is a nooner. We got Tulane coming off of a squeaker that they had last week. They're going into a bye week. You've got Army that has no interest in playing high-scoring games. We got a total in the 40s, and we're going under, fellas. Under 45.5 in Army and Tulane. I think calling that a Sickos pick, probably disrespecting the troops, which has worked out so far this year. Disrespecting the troops. Under 45.5. Yeah. Army and Tulane under 45.5. And then sticking with the theme of unders, let's go to the lake. Scott, you like the lake.
I do enjoy the lake.
The lake that you're on, is there a breeze? Is there a lot of wind that comes off of it, or is it more serene and calm?
Well, it's a great lake, so it depends on the day. And I'm not there currently, just to be clear. But yeah.
Where's this going?
Well, I'm glad you mentioned Great Lakes, Scott, because we have a game being played at 2:30 on a different Great Lake. It's not Erie. It is on Lake Michigan, as I go to Google Maps to make sure I got the right one. The Purdue Boilermakers on the road in Evanston, playing on the lake, taking on the Northwestern Wildcats.
Oh my God, we're betting Purdue and Northwestern. Hell yeah.
2 teams that are bottom of the barrel Big Ten. We got another total in the 40s, playing in the windy conditions coming off of Lake Michigan. Why would I expect anyone's going to score any points in this game? 47.5, too easy. Under.
I mean, Northwestern's coming off of a gigantic win. Now you got to play Purdue.
Mm-hmm.
Got to get your mind right.
That's right. All right. Sickos picks of the week. Charlotte team total under 17.5 and Lafayette plus 22.5 for Mike. Once again, Pat League in Corvallis, 10 p.m. on the CW is peak Sickos pick.
It's one of those things where you've been firing all day and you're just looking for another one, as Scott Van Pelt would say.
Just chasing it. You're like 35 beers deep, and we got to get one back. Scott has Rutgers first quarter catching 5.5 and UMass team total under 10.5. I am on Army Tulane under 45.5 and Purdue Northwestern under 47.5. There's your Sickos picks of the week. Godspeed.
God,
enjoy watching every minute of all these games.
By we, I mean me. I need some winners this week.
Yeah, you're 3-7 on the year on these Sickos picks. So.
Yeah, man, but I've had a couple rough weeks as well with just in general. Yeah, the Twitter picks are not. It's going to be a bloodbath. When I think it went 2-6 last week.
But you know what? You own it, and you are accountable to your picks on Twitter, and that's the real code of honor there.
That's that's it. Nobody's trying to get rich gambling. If you are, you're an idiot.
Or you're a lot smarter than us. One or the other. Hard to tell.
Or you're just simply a lot smarter than us. That's correct.
Yeah. Yep. Mike, Scott, that's all I've got on week 8. Anything else before we work on getting out of here?
Don't think so.
Fun show, guys.
Good stuff.
Enjoyed it. We got a lot of fun games to watch this weekend. Go check those out. We're going to come back and recap these games. Tentative Saturday Night Live spot or more likely Sunday, Mike, this week?
Well, that's tentative.
Tentative.
If
you want to know if we're going live, go to youtube.com/@the-ACC Football Podcast. Hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon. You will be notified when we're going to go live. We'll try to set up the stream at least a few hours ahead of time so you'll see it. So go find us there. Hit the like button if you haven't already. Watching us on YouTube, we'd appreciate that. Find us on Apple, Amazon, Spotify, wherever you go find your audio podcasts. If that is your preference, we'd appreciate that. Hit the subscribe button wherever you are. Rate and review. We'd appreciate that as well. Basketball Conference Podcast @gmail.com is the email address.
Hold it.
Thank you. At SRS Joey, at Mike McDaniel, SI, at BC Podcast, ACC on Twitter, but you probably already knew that. Anything else before we get out of here, guys?
Nothing for me.
Don't know if it will be out by Thursday, but you'll not know that until you're listening to this. So
That's right.
Sorry.
Yeah. Only one way to find out. Mike, Scott, it's been fun. You guys want to come back and recap week 8?
Yep.
I do.
Let's do it. All right. For Mr. Mike McDaniel, for Mr. Producer Scott, I'm Joey Weaver. Thank you guys so much for listening. Enjoy the games. We will talk to you again very, very soon. Until then, go ACC.